In this video, I'm going to share with you 7 SellerAmp mistakes you need to avoid if you want to maximize the amount of profitable products you're finding in your Amazon online arbitrage business. And if you're new to our channel, welcome. We're SellerAmp. We're an online retail and wholesale arbitrage tool for Amazon sellers to help you save time, money, and help you find a lot more profitable products. Make sure you watch this video. These are common mistakes we see in lots of beginner sellers. And once you understand and correct these mistakes, you're going to find a lot more winning products and grow your business fast. Let's get right into the 7 mistakes you need to avoid. So the first mistake I see a lot of beginners making is not having their numbers correct in the SellerAmp settings. This is what you should do right when you get a free trial for the first time. So if we go ahead, we're on selleramp.com, hit the top right drop down menu, head to settings. And what you need to do is you need to add in your inbound shipping cost and your sales tax percent or your prep fee, depending on if you're using a prep center or doing prep yourself in-house. If you're unfamiliar with what a prep center is, it's basically a third-party warehouse that'll intake your inventory for you and ship it off to the Amazon warehouse with limited access to your seller account. Say you use a prep center, it's probably going to be like $1.50 or $2 per unit. So that's what you would put in the prep cost. Right here, for most of you guys as beginners, you're going to put $0 right here for prep fee and MISC fee. And then in MISC fee percent, you're going to put in your sales tax. For example, if you're in Texas, it's probably going to be about 8.25%, as well as your inbound shipping cost to Amazon, which is going to end up being about 60 cents per pound standard as a new seller. Eventually, that's going to go down as you optimize your box sizes and unit sizes per box, etc. Better. It's really, really important that you make sure you do this right when you get SellerAmp, so that way the SellerAmp profit calculator is showing your exact numbers. And another mistake I see a lot of people make is putting in sales tax twice. Once you add it in your SellerAmp backend, you don't need to do the mental math when you're actually taking a look at the extension as well. So all you need to do, add in your sales tax percent and your inbound shipping rate, and then SellerAmp's going to handle the rest of that. And the numbers you see on your SellerAmp calculator are after shipping, fees, product cost, sales tax, literally everything. Let's get on to mistake number 2. So if we take a look here on the profit calculator, a lot of people aren't using the profit calculator correctly. Obviously, max cost, you can see how fast an item sells. A lot of people aren't taking advantage of that. You can do math within the profit calculator though. So if we go here, we need star times 5. We can multiply this by 5. We can do dash divided by 5. We can do all types of addition and subtraction here as well. And then say there's like a 25% coupon. We can go ahead and multiply this thing by 0.75. Right here, for example, one of my favorite websites, they have a buy one, get one 50% off that stacks with a $15 off 99 plus coupon code. So for example, if an item's $70, I'll do an order of 2 to maximize that coupon code. And I can just do the math within SellerAmp right here and multiply it by 2. Then go ahead and take off that 25% for the buy one, get one 50% off. Right here, multiply this in, boom. And then subtract 15 for that other coupon code that I can use right there, and then just divide this thing by 2. So a lot of people are sleeping on using the math feature of SellerAmp. It's really, really helpful in terms of just making sure you're having all your numbers correct and multiplying your coupons well. The most common ones you're going to run to is just like 10% email sign up coupon, just multiply it by 0.9. Right here, 20% coupon, multiply by 0.8, so on and so forth. Makes life a lot easier. This is a huge mistake a lot of beginners are making. They're spending tons of time doing product research and coming across leads all the time that are almost good or out of stock, but they're not actually tracking those leads correctly. They're just going on about their day and missing out on a ton of additional profit. For example, if we take a look here, these slides are going for $29 over on Amazon, ton of reviews, really, really good sales rank as well, 13K sales rank. If we take a look over on Adidas.com, we can see they're going for about $20. Right? And then our friends over at Capital One Shopping, this coupon code for Father's Day actually gives about 25% off extra. So this actually becomes 15. So just looking at these, I could see these being profitable, right? We can see they're going for $20 using the math right there. We can multiply it by 0.75 with that Capital One Shopping coupon code. That's going to give us about another 25% off. So we go ahead and multiply this in. We can see this is pretty close to being profitable. Has it been profitable in the past? We can see totally has been profitable in the past. It's buy box, at 33 in the past few months, 34, etc., 35, right? So we plug that in right here. Now that becomes a really good ROI, and we can use a discounted gift card from Cardbear or Top Cashback right there. All we can do in this case is go ahead and one-click export this out to an almost good SellerAmp spreadsheet, and then that data is going to automatically populate down here. Really, really important to be using the SellerAmp spreadsheets. We see a lot of people that miss out on lots of leads, not staying organized. Make sure you're using the SellerAmp spreadsheets. Another super common mistake we see among a lot of beginner SellerAmp users is thinking that if you want to FBM something, you just need to subtract the FBM cost from here in your profit. That's not the case. When you FBA something, you don't pay individual shipping, but you do pay FBM fees, which are based on size and weight. When you FBM something, you don't pay FBA fees, but you do pay individual shipping costs, which are based on size and weight. If you want to run the FBM numbers on something, you need to go ahead and take a look at the weight right here in the dimensions, 4 ounces. And then what you need to do is scroll down here to the FBM calculator on SellerAmp and toggle this over right here and then plug in your FBM cost, which is going to be shipping. So this is going to ship for about $4 right here, maybe $4.50, $4.25 here. We can see $6.40 profit, 63% ROI. If we toggle this to FBA, we can see this listing is actually better to FBM compared to FBA. However, we see a lot of beginners that think they would just subtract the shipping costs from these numbers that show on the main profit calculator. Meanwhile, what you actually need to do is filter this over to FBM, enter in that FBM shipping cost, and then you can see the exact numbers there. All right. Next mistake we see a lot of beginners make is just avoiding stuff that Amazon's on. When they see that Amazon is on a listing on SellerAmp, they automatically avoid it. They don't actually take a look at if Amazon is getting the buy box. If we scroll down here, we can see on a listing like this, there's nice offer count movement here, guys. We know third-party sellers are making money on this listing, and Amazon's priced way above the buy box. So if you see that alert from SellerAmp that Amazon's on a listing, you need to take a look at the charts and see if that listing is actually selling for third-party sellers, because you don't automatically want to avoid something if Amazon's on it, even if SellerAmp tells you, that Amazon's on it. Looking if Amazon's sharing the buy box. In this case, we can see that they are. Taking a look here and seeing that Amazon is not the one that's priced competitively with the buy box, and the offer count's going up and down. That's a big mistake we see a lot of beginners make. Another super common mistake among beginner Amazon sellers is not looking at where the buy box is actually going and just matching the lowest price. So if we scroll down here on SellerAmp and take a look at the offers tab, we can see all the sellers who are at the lowest price right here. However, the lowest price does not automatically get the buy box thanks to factors like delivery dates and different factors like that. So if we take a look here on the charts, we can see the lowest price on this listing, lowest FBA is currently 19, but the buy box is pretty consistently in the 24 to 25 range on something like this. So a lot of sellers are leaving lots of money on the table, not pricing where the buy box is going and just pricing at the lowest price. Occasionally, the SellerAmp calculator is just going to show the lowest, not the current buy box, because buy box shows differently for other people. It's important to take a look at the charts and make sure you go ahead and plug in where the buy box actually is. Sometimes it won't match just based on geographic filters. You can see on the chart where the buy box has consistently been, and you might be leaving a lot of money on the table, not pricing at your optimal pricing based on where the buy box is going, not pricing based on the lowest price. So a few months ago, we went ahead and added the buy box analysis feature on SellerAmp. You might need to toggle this on in your settings. If we take a look right here, we can see all the sellers who were getting the buy box over the 30, 90, and 180-day data. We can see it's uploading right here, and then we can see who's getting the buy box, how often the most expensive price is. We can filter into all these different ones to see who's selling it the most expensive, who's getting it the most often, who's getting it most recently, and what fulfillment type they're using. So you can see how FBM friendly listing is, where to price optimally based on our last tip we shared too. A really, really important thing to note is do not automatically avoid stuff that shows suppressed right here. When that happens, typically it means that Amazon just took away the buy box because the price was going up. If we take a look at the chart on a product like this, we can see that is absolutely the case. Right here, Amazon really, really recently took away the buy box. Do not automatically avoid stuff that doesn't have a buy box. Take a look if it's actually selling. Typically, if they take away the buy box, it means the price recently went up, which means most likely people are making money on that listing. So we can see in this case, even though it shows suppressed and no buy box, which are synonymous on the buy box analysis feature on SellerAmp, that does not automatically mean that listing isn't selling and that you should avoid it. So it's really, really important to note that even if something doesn't have a buy box, it can still totally be profitable, and don't automatically avoid when you see suppressed on the SellerAmp buy box analysis feature. That if you're not using, it's a really, really good feature. You need to make sure you go into your settings and toggle that on so that you can go ahead and see who's getting the buy box, how often at the most expensive prices, using all the different fulfillment types. So we can see, because especially with back to school coming, you need to be able to see, what items are going up in price. You can take advantage of higher price action and FBM friendly listings so you can sell items quicker, avoid price tanking, buy lower quantities of stuff, and learn faster with your FBM SKUs. So those are 7 common SellerAmp mistakes and just ways you can integrate SellerAmp better into your business, taking advantage of some different underrated features and features we see, sellers having some common misconceptions about and everything that'll help you grow your Amazon business fast. Hope this video was helpful, SellerAmp Nation. If you have any questions, please let us know down below. We'll see you guys in the next one.